Yes.
Welcome to Hypocrisy Now.
Now,
I'm Rachel,
I'm Sarah.
and what do we say to the people listening to our podcast?
We might not be everyone's cup of tea, but we're some people's shot of tequila
And
or
we will
vodka.
cheers to that.
Tink.
All
Yep.
right, well, let's start with some good news. We have 1,011 days, 18 hours, 38 minutes, and 22 seconds left of Trump's presidency. Or until he dies or gets impeached. I don't know. What do we think?
Let's talk about this Jesus thing for a second.
Let's.
What?
What shocks me is that this is what shocked people.
He said that he did it, and people are still like, no, somebody else did it. He's joking. I have a pretty broad spectrum of what funny is. That's that's not really funny. That's more disturbing,
Yeah.
first of all. Second of all, I work with the doctor every day, and if he walked up into my office dressed like that, I'd be like, dude, are you all right? I hope you're wearing underwear under there, first of all. But also, that does not seem conducive to doing anything medical, those drapey ass sleeves. Come on. He's gaslighting us in front of our faces, in front of
Yeah.
our faces. And a lot of people said, oh, it's probably somebody else posted it, even though he admitted that he did it. But here's also the thing about that. He posts these rambling, crazy nonsense diatribes all the time. Why would you think somebody else did it? And second of all, especially, or I don't know what number we're on of all, but even if somebody else, if I was a famous, cool person and I had somebody handling all of my PR, my social media, da da da, the second they posted something like the Obama monkey situation, which first of all we all know is bullshit. Guess who would never ever have hands on my social media ever again?
Right.
Anybody else. So,
But here it's being praised, I guess. I mean, do you think anybody even approves? Is he literally just in bed, like, eating cheeseburgers? Like, that's what I'm going to guess. I'm guessing there's nobody, because nobody has the balls to say, yo, bro, we're going to start writing your messages for you. I felt like previously, if Joe Biden wrote a tweet, it was somebody on his communications team wrote a tweet. He maybe looked at it and then they posted it. Most social media just, I mean, besides your own personal social media, somebody's writing that and I don't know, focus grouping it. Maybe that's another, maybe, see, that's the problem. Like, there's two extremes. And we went from one extreme of everything having to be, filtered and written out and word salad and can't offend anybody and da la la la. And then Trump came in and was like, fuck that noise. I'm going to write whatever I want. And everybody was like, yeah, look at that guy speaking his
he tells it
mind.
like it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're telling it like it is. Fat bitches are gross and ugly girls shouldn't belong in nowhere. Yeah, I don't, you're right, because are people too afraid to be like, hey, buddy, this is
I
not
think
a good
so.
idea because they want to keep their jobs?
Hmm.
Is he just, yeah, like, I've got a great thing to say. There's nobody governing you at all. Even his wife, although she clearly like, but if that was my president husband, I'd be like, this might not be a great look. But I don't think he fucking cares. He just doesn't care because there's no recourse. There's no like, yeah, you do whatever you want because people still believe you. People still think you're cool. People think it's a joke. Like, I don't know what kind of sense of humor. Okay, man. Like,
Americans, we're in a narcissistic
relationship. Yes, we
relationship.
are. Yes, we are.
And
I don't know that anybody can tell him anything though. Like, why are you going after the Pope? He's soft on crime. He's the Pope, you dipshit. What do you even? What?
he's not the crime police.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when the main pedophile ring is hating on the second largest pedophile ring.
Yeah, it's not
Uh,
great. It's
uh,
not so
uh,
cool. So cool. So Dr. Jesus. If he was just a normal person, he would be the one that gets invited over to the family Thanksgiving, and it's just like, just ignore him. Just ignore him. He's going to say some really inappropriate stuff. We'll put him down for a nap after he eats some turkey. He gets a little sleepy. And he'd just be, these are the
Crazy.
rantings of an unhinged,
Yeah.
declining mental person. They don't make any sense. And I don't know. The excuses that are made for him, it really is. These are his flying monkeys, right? That's what they call the little narcissistic gobbles who are like, no, you're totally right. Everything's good. Like, lift yourself from the haze of what he's saying. It's just crazy.
And that's the other thing. Is what he's doing strategic or is what he's doing
No.
just idiotic? There were all these like theories around that AI image, like, oh, the Statue of Liberty in the back like symbolizes this. And I go, I think he just plugged something in the chat GPT and it's like, hey, portray me as Jesus. And
I mean, good for him for knowing how to use AI. Nice on you, buddy. Congrats. Yeah.
well, Sarah,
Petro, dolla.
how did I ruin your week this week?
Oh my gosh. Well, you made me look into the petrodollar.
Hmm.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Anytime. That's what I'm here for. To
To ruin my
ruin your
week.
day. One disturbing news thing at a time.
All right, so I give credit to Reddit user Flimsy Resident.
69.
34.97, but that's funnier. After World War II, the dollar was backed by gold. Gold reserves couldn't keep up, so Nixon ended convertibility. Thanks, Nixon. From that moment on, the dollar was no longer tied to anything physical, and yet the world didn't walk away. Why? Because a new anchor quietly replaced gold. Oil. In the 1970s, the US reached a strategic agreement with Saudi Arabia that oil would be priced in US dollars. That's messed up. Also, sidebar. And in return, the US would provide military protection and security guarantees. And from that point on, if you need energy, you need dollars. If you need dollars, you enter the system, and the loop begins. Countries sell goods to earn dollars. They use those dollars to buy oil. Oil experts accumulate dollars and reinvest them into U.S. assets, treasuries, markets, real estate. A constant global demand for the U.S. dollar and a financial system where the U.S. can borrow cheaper than almost anyone else. Some analysts argue the system isn't sustained by economics alone, but also by political pressure, sanctions, and military presence. What's interesting is what's happening now. China is buying oil in yuan,
You
when
won.
Russia has shifted parts of its trade into rubles and yuan. India is exploring rupee-based deals. BRICS is discussing alternatives. Even Saudi Arabia has signaled openness to a non-dollar transaction. This isn't collapse, it's a slow shift. But systems like this don't break suddenly, they erode. And if global demand for dollars weakens, borrowing gets more expensive, inflation pressures increase, sanctions lose effectiveness, and the balance of power starts to change. So the real question isn't whether the system exists, the question is how long it can hold.
Yeah. So, okay. In learning this, I guess I'm just curious, like, what was surprising to you, if anything?
That this existed at all,
Okay.
number
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
Number two, that globally there was such compliance to turn things into US dollar for return. And that now it's being so epically fucked up that
Yeah.
for, since what, 1971, 50 plus years ago, 55 years ago, 55
God.
years ago, that this was just, everybody was like, yeah, okay, all right, just, we're on board with that.
Yeah.
And it seems like really, I can't say things have been going fine, but I mean, there's been compliance essentially. It's been working.
Yeah. I mean, it was still another one of those like, hey, we're going to protect you if give us this deal. So I mean, there were some benefits, obviously, for teaming up, since at one point we did have the strongest military in the world. Do we still? What do you think? Do you think we still do? Maybe just because of the numbers we have,
Maybe, but
or
now there's a there's been a reduction in that as well, which is why they're having to issue this draft coming up in December, is because those numbers have been dwindling.
good news is, petrodollar, it's a pretty big fucking deal, so it's not going to completely collapse overnight. But I do think that it's starting to erode. I don't know what that means for the US, but I think things are going to get worse before they get better, but we got
Well,
to
they
hang in
always
there.
do. There very well might be a boomerang effect. It's one of those things where people don't realize how bad it is until it starts to affect them directly.
Hmm. Once again, we're being grifted. We're
Yeah.
being grifted. Sarah, how do we save democracy? Either or.
Find your own joy in the hobbies in your life. Um, and then stand for what you believe in. Don't accept every piece of information that comes. Look at things with true objectivity, whether they support your confirmation bias kind of deal or not. I think that's really important to, like we always say, what's the other side? How do you think the way you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think the way you think? And that
Show
just allows
compassion.
for, yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got to look at those things because that scope is getting narrower all the time. You know, he keeps calling it fake news, but he's the one that's running the news. They're taking over the news. So,
Like
at
you are
what,
the news, so are you
yeah, at
fake?
what
Are you
point
real?
the fact that TMZ is becoming a credible news source.
Right? Yeah.
So, I think a little bit of separation, but also awareness and staying strong, not being able to respond to these people with opposing views with dignity and calm because it's easy to get riled up, be like, you're fucking dumb because they're fucking dumb. But also, that doesn't prove your point more. It makes your
Right.
point less effective. So,
Well, that's seen. So, well, we have to realize right now that we might have to start finding our common ground with these Republicans, right wingers. MAGA people might be too far gone, but maybe the people coming out of their MAGA haze, give them a hug, say, I'm
yeah,
sorry you had to be in this abusive relationship for so long. We're
yep,
still in it. Now it's time to fight.
yeah.
We're gonna just have to find where are the issues we can't agree on.
We all want the same things, right? We want to be able to afford to live. We want to eat. We want to take care of our families. We want to enjoy life. That's it. But I mean, on your day to day, find that common ground,
Yeah.
really follow the golden rule and not the he has the most gold is the one that rules, but treat other people the way you want to be treated. You don't have to agree with everybody. You're not going to. That's not how
No.
life is supposed to work, but remove volatility, try to be understanding, try to be empathetic. I mean, that's the best we can do at this point. That's the best we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
And as we've
Well,
said before, don't be a dick.
don't be a dick.
Don't
Number
be a
one,
dick.
number one way to save democracy. Well, it's like are people feeling more empowered or just because Trump
Yes,
says whatever the fuck
a
he wants
thousand
now,
percent,
it's like he's
100%.
opened up the
Yes,
floodgates and he's made it
yes,
okay for you to be a
yes.
dick
Yep,
and think
yes,
that that's cool.
yes. I
And
think
the
that's
only
exactly it.
person who thinks it's cool is
Well, if the
you.
president can do it, if the president can say whatever he wants, that means it's
And
okay. That means it's acceptable. He's
and
just
I
telling it like
guess,
it is.
but all right, we wanna wrap this.
Yeah. Later,
All
dudes.
right, we wanna like two
Yeah.
fingers and a heart.
Can you get it to go off again?
I
That was
know
so
that was,
funny.
that was amazing. Like, why can't I make a heart now? Does that make you do it like this?
I
Eh,
don't know.
eh. There we
Aw.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey! All right. Well, until next time,
Later, buddy and
don't be a
friend.
dick.
Yeah, don't be a dick. Don't be a
And keep hope.
dick.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.